What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everyone, as always, is having a fantastic day, boys and gals. We are going to be discussing, of course, today, talking about the marathon of wealth. And folks, many people are already starting to break, and that is absolutely understandable. Because picture this, you're running a marathon. You started strong, full of energy, determination. Mile after mile after mile, you've pushed and pushed and pushed, whether it be passing others, feeling unstoppable, but now you're at mile 19, folks. Legs are beginning to get heavy, and every breath feels like fire. Your mind is screaming, stop! You've done enough! Of course, then a curveball comes. You hear someone say, most people quit here. The finish line is only 7 miles away. It's close enough to taste, but still far enough to feel impossible. And of course, here's the twist, folks. You've trained for this moment for the last several years. You've been preparing for this exact moment in time for the last couple of years during the bear market. This is actually where the real race begins. Not against the other people, not against anyone else. It's against yourself, folks. So I hope, as always, y'all are having a fantastic day. I see everybody in the chat. What is going on, my boys, my gals? I hope y'all are all enjoying a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Because guys, the crypto market is in fact a marathon. I've been discussing the marathon concept since the bear market started. Okay? And right now, we are at mile 19. We are at month 19. I said from the beginning it would be a 26-month journey. Some people may or may not have believed that. I said when Pulse Chain first launched, it is going to be a 26-month journey. Right now, you are on month 19 of this bull cycle, folks. You've already pushed through months of ups and downs. You've pushed through some doubt. You've pushed through some hate. Some people are already ready to quit. Some people already have quit, as a matter of fact. They're thinking they're missing their shot. Some are beginning to slow down. They're getting distracted. They're seeing new shiny objects. They're seeing other tokens pump. Or worse, they're burning out. If you've ever burned out physically, emotionally, from work, from job, from life, it is a very tough thing to get through. But the reality is, folks, the next 7 months could absolutely change everything. It's the final stretch. It's the part where true winners are made. Success doesn't come easy, folks. It doesn't come when it's easy, right? It comes when you push forward, even when it feels impossible, and it is impossible, and it feels impossible to keep going. And yeah, guys, we'll finally have Millie P-Hacks today. Crypto Chronicles, congratulations. Congratulations. So I wanted to share a quick story on this one, guys, because back... dope trumpet music, yeah, appreciate. Back in 1968, everyone may or may not have even known or was around. I certainly wasn't born at that point in time, but there was a runner by the name of John Stephen Akhwari. He started a marathon like everyone else, but halfway through he fell, injuring his knees, and people expected him to quit. But of course, he didn't quit. Hours after the race ended, the stadium nearly empty, Akhwari limped across the finish line. When asked why didn't he stop, he said, "My country didn't send me 5,000 miles to start the race, they sent me 5,000 miles to finish it." This is where crypto teaches us one of life's greatest lessons. Anyone can start with the excitement when the excitement is high. Heck, many people join during a bull market run. When the coins are pumping, many people love chasing the pumps. But only the relentless actually finish, which is why it's very rare for people to be in crypto multiple cycles. And for those people who are in multiple cycles, half the time they've actually had some struggles and they aren't actually doing as well, or maybe they weren't doing as well as they once could have if they just held on to their tokens. This is a course where everybody has self-doubt, because that is one of the things that you are going to experience right now, guys. I'm seeing it in the messages, in the Reddit comments, right? Oh my god, we're red today, right? I saw someone post on Twitter, oh my gosh, all the other coins are pumping and Pulse Chain isn't pumping. Did I choose wrong? Does someone know something about some insider SEC court case document and they are just keeping it to themselves, dumping before the news comes out? Guys, this is why so many people won't make it. There are going to be multiple times where you're going to have 20, 30, 40, even 60% dips, and I know that is brutal to say. But guys, imagine you're holding onto a coin, everyone else's portfolio is pumping, but yours, it's stagnant or going down. Your mind starts racing through all the thoughts of being like, did I choose wrong? Did I choose the wrong token? Should I sell and chase the other token that's already pumping? What if my coin never moves? This is right here at month 19 where you risk blowing it all. You've literally lost your focus. You've abandoned your plan. You let your emotions begin to take over. And that is how people fail in the final stretch of this crypto journey. It's just simple time on this one, folks. Right now, the temptation is around for everybody. Bitcoin is breaking new all-time highs, $108,000. Heck, Ethereum still hasn't broken its all-time high. Did they choose wrong? Do people who hold Ethereum tokens make a bad decision at that point in time? And I don't believe that's the case. But this is where the finish line is near. Shortcuts start to look appealing in crypto. The allure of riskier coins and trades begin to be a lot more appealing. The chasing of shiny new objects begins to creep up even more. People begin to throw caution out the window. It feels logical because you say, why not double down? I'm so close. But the people who win big aren't the people who gamble the most. They're the ones who stay disciplined. They don't chase noise. They trust their strategies. Heck, we see people like, Jack Mallers over on Bitcoin, and many Bitcoin enthusiasts for that matter, who have only focused on Bitcoin. Their bags are packed in such a way that each time it goes up tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars each time, they are making massive gains. Whereas someone new to the game of crypto, they won't be able to see those same gains. So you have to go a little bit further out on that risk curve to be able to start making mad gains on crypto, right? But once you find that crypto that makes you the money, do you really need to start branching out? Half the time the answer is no, and half the time many people will. More than half of the time many people will, and it's because they can't resist trying to go chase a new pump. If you go make 10x, 20x, 30x on the crypto that we're in right now, and all of a sudden you see the new token that comes out and you say, I can take the money that I've made in this token and put it in this shit token. And then that token either rugs or whatever may happen at that point in time. It happens all the freaking time, folks. Do not chase noise. Trust your strategy. Resist the urge to abandon your plan. This happens far too often, guys. Right? So think about this. Think about this for a moment, right? Think about this like climbing a mountain. The air begins to get thinner. Your energy begins to fade. Doubts are louder than ever. And of course, you have to ask yourself, why did you start the journey in the first place? Look at that with crypto. What did you start chasing this journey for in the first place? Was it to secure financial freedom? Was it to change your life? Was it to prove to yourself that you could just stick to a plan and do it? Because you're not here to stop at mile 19. You're here to finish the race, folks. The final 7 months will test everything in your power. The market volatility will absolutely shake out the weak hands. Prices will skyrocket and corrections are gonna feel brutal, y'all. Brutal. They're gonna feel like you got punched in the gut by Mike Tyson over here. Just bow. maybe Jake Paul. I don't give a shit which one you say, but you're gonna feel like you got punched in the gut, and it's gonna suck. There's a reason why many people won't be able to actually see 100x in crypto. Not only 100x in crypto, but let alone 1000x, folks. They can't even withstand a market pullback of 20%, 30%. During a run-up of 1000x, you guarantee yourself there are going to be corrections. And those corrections, like I said, are going to be even more mentally taxing on you. Because while the correction is happening to your token, the other token that you didn't buy is pumping for whatever reason. But I said this yesterday, or maybe not yesterday on the stream, but I said this on my previous stream. If I was going to go and buy something, I would have already gone and bought it. So I'm not going to get mad when that token goes and pumps. Because if I wanted to be a part of it, I would go be a part of it, right? Like, I will be patient. I will wait for my turn on this round. And many people did this with Hex. Many tokens pumped well before Hex pumped, and then shit went bananas. So what if it was last in the race? You still won, but you're gonna get shook out if you don't have the good one. Because here's the good news, folks. If you stay focused, if you keep pushing, and if you don't quit when it feels the absolute hardest, the next 7 months, the next 3 to 9 months, if you really want to get like crazy with it, possibly even 10, depending upon if it goes to October, November, depending upon where it ends up going, are going to be the most rewarding stretch of your life. But remember, folks, it's not about just making money. Obviously, we all want to make a buttload of money. I get it, right? Like, I'm right there with you. I want to go make a crap ton of money. But it's also about proving to yourself that you have the discipline, the patience, and the grit to finish what you started. The reason why I love Hex so much and that drew me to Hex is if you stake 55-55 and you say I'm gonna lock it up for 15 years and then you end it early because you don't commit to what you started, you are heavily penalized. Heavily penalized. Which is why it helps with the mindset of discipline and learning the Hex crypto staking strategy or mining strategy, whatever you want to call it, right? Because the people who win in crypto and the people who win in life are the ones that refuse to quit even when the finish line feels far away. They don't give in to self-doubt. They don't chase shortcuts. They don't let emotions control their actions. They understand that taking a deep breath, buttoning up your shirt, tightening up your laces, and telling yourselves, I've come this far, I've come too far to stop now. That's where we're at right now, folks. Mile 19, month 19. If you look and say, how many months has it been since May 12th of 2023, you will get 19 months as the answer. And in reality, folks, we aren't that far away from the finish line. You've already done the hardest stuff you can possibly do. And that's go through some of the bear market times. But guys, as I said before, the bull market is even crazier than the bear market. Because it doesn't matter how tired you are. It doesn't matter how hard it feels. Winners keep going. So find a way, take a deep breath, dig deeper, and remind yourself again, I didn't come this far to only come this far. I'm here to finish what I started. I never gave up, and you're gonna ask, was it worth it? And at the end, the answer will be yes, because it will be worth it. Because when you cross that finish line and just look back and say, damn, that was a crazy freaking lesson that I had to go through in life, but holy shit, I am here. There was a saying, you know, and again, I'm probably gonna mess it up, but I think some of y'all can kind of get the idea right now. It's, you know, I asked God to give me an easy life, and He made sure to. I had nothing but struggles in front of me. I asked, and then again, you say that's not what I wanted. That's not what I asked for. I asked God for wisdom, and He gave me every lesson of struggle that I could possibly learn. And again, you say that's not what I was asking for. I asked for wealth, and he gave me nothing but struggles and hurdles along the way, and moments of doubt and everything along the way. Because you just want it, but you have to go through these hurdles and lessons and all this to be able to actually get there at the end. Because right now we are so freaking close, guys. You're so freaking close right now. You've literally made it so far already in the crypto landscape, in the crypto world, and many people are just about to wash themselves out right toward the end. And you know what? I can't stop everyone from doing what they want, but holy effing cow, do I believe that is a mistake of a lifetime that you are possibly going to regret for quite some time. Right? It truly, truly is. I want to share with y'all something real quick, and we're going to kind of go through some of the we're going to go through some of the charts here as well. Take a look at what's going on, what's happening, and seeing everything here. But guys, at this point in time, you can actually see this is the altcoin market caps, and every single time it's 500 days before the actual halving, you buy. And every single day it's after the halving, 500 days, you sell. Right? And so right now, we are not that far away at this point in time. The halving was in April of 2024. You go 500 days after that and potentially look to sell. Okay? So, you know what I mean? Like, just pull this up. This is what it's been every single time in the past. You can actually see right here. So again, boom. 2015 down here, right? 500 days before the halving, you buy. 500 days after the halving, you sell. That's the bull market. Boom. 500 days before the halving, buy. 500 days after the halving, you sell. It's been this way every single freaking time. You don't have to get it absolutely perfect, but right now we're in the 500 days after the halving, and you better have a plan to actually sell. Because again, you should have already been buying, and heck, to this item right now, you can still be buying. As a matter of fact, there is no harm in doing that. This is a Bitcoin chart right here, and Bitcoin just recently broke $108,000 today. Again, another all-time high. Once again, if I pull this up on the daily real fast, this chart looking crazy good. And again, this whole ecosystem in general for just crypto is looking super freaking bullish, y'all. You had this period of time where it was a kind of a descending bullish channel down here. Whoops, I didn't quite get that one correct. Where you had this whole time frame down here. Why is it not locking in? Cool. And then all of a sudden, once it breaks that channel, oh my gosh, get ready for liftoff. And sure enough, we ended up getting liftoff, right? This is exactly what we have going on right now in the overall crypto landscape. And most cryptos kind of lag behind by about either a week to 6 weeks, depending upon what's going on. So if I break this down on the daily, you can see there's a portion of time where this sucker just really went sideways, really from what, the end of November over here to roughly about, you know, early mid-December before it really started taking off again and started going parabolic. This is absolutely normal. What you can tend to expect is it goes like this, where you get a move, you get a little shift down, you get some sell-offs, some liquidations, you get a slightly higher move again, you get some people to start buying, you sell again, and you shake some more people out, and then you start getting liftoff. Well, right here, folks, this is kind of where the overall crypto market's at for all the altcoins. While Bitcoin is already seeing the pump right now, altcoins are actually seeing some pullback. And you can actually see this as well if you just pull up the others chart. Whoops, I actually have it up here. If you just pull up the others, which is excluding the top 10 crypto market cap coins, right? So whenever I look at this particular chart right here, a lot of cryptos haven't even broken their previous all-time high. Again, this is going all the way back to 2021 over here, where it broke its previous all-time high, right? Y'all see this nice little blue line that I have? Make it simple so you can see. Most of these cryptos and others crypto market cap haven't even broken that previous all-time high. And in fact, they're actually going down against Bitcoin. But this is a nice bullish flag. If you actually were to just measure this up right here, and I was to take this particular, candle or movement overall, usually when you get a nice little breakout like this, what ends up happening is you'll get a little movement like this, and it takes us all the way once we actually break out of this particular triangle, depending upon what actually happens, into the $1 trillion market cap over here, which again would put it roughly around 2.5x from where it currently is right now. It hasn't even broken 500 billion right now. And there's estimates of Bitcoin potentially reaching $15 trillion market cap this cycle. That would be absolutely wild, y'all. Again, let me just kind of pull up and see what the market cap is on Bitcoin right now, but it's sitting at $2.11 trillion right now, right? And so if I'm just looking at this chart alone, people are anticipating Bitcoin's going to reach all the way the heck up here, folks. Boom. Let me just draw a quick little line so you can see. This red line is around $15 trillion, which again, to put it in perspective, would be roughly around a 7.3x from where it currently is right now. And again, would put Bitcoin around $700,000. This is just some estimates from people talking about legacy financial money coming in and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Okay. This is part of what is actually going to be potentially possible here in the next bull run coming up, right? Ethereum still hasn't broken its previous all-time high, folks. Ethereum is still absolutely chilling, right? It's wondering what the heck is going on, right? If I was to pull up the Ethereum chart, we haven't even broken its previous all-time high back here when it was around the $4,800 mark. We haven't broke that yet. Not only has Ethereum not done it, Cardano is still down roughly about 70% or 60% from its previous all-time highs as well. And this is one of the top, 10 tokens in the crypto market cap that you see, some legacy tokens. It's still down right now as well. And people are like, well, what's happening, right? So if you just measure from this move alone, down 65% right now, right? From its previous all-time high. Guys, the alt season is about to just absolutely blow and melt faces away. Are you going to be a part of it when it actually happens, right? Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Because when it happens so freaking fast, guys. It actually happens faster than anyone can possibly even fathom. You can't even grasp when the money starts being printed like that. You see a 10x on these tokens that have been sideways for a while, and you're just in disbelief. You're just like, this is unreal. I went to sleep and it's 5x higher, 10x higher. What in the heck is going on? Everyone's gonna be looking for some sort of article or news as to why. It's just the fucking banana zone right now, guys. This is when crypto goes absolutely bananas, right? And so if you see Bitcoin in the $700,000 mark, by the way, which granted, who knows what the heck is going to happen, but if it maintains the same ETH Bitcoin ratio as it is right here, that puts Ethereum at $26,000. And I believe Ethereum's actually going to outperform Bitcoin in January. Believe it or not, it's hard to believe whenever things are kind of going sideways and happening right now. But this is where I can see $26,000 Ethereum potentially being a possibility on the low side, right? I'm being conservative when I say that number, because if Bitcoin's at 700,000 and if Ethereum does what I think it's going to do, it's going to get around 0.06 of Bitcoin's market cap over here. It would put Ethereum at $42,000. And you can't even imagine what that could end up meaning, right? Then you start getting into, the RH, I don't want to call it RH Treasury, but the PulseX deposit treasury, whatever you want to call it, right? This is where you start seeing these sort of things right here, where you got 171,000 Ethereum inside here, and you multiply that sucker by 42,000 for S's and G's, that's still $7.2 billion. The numbers get absolutely freaking stupid, guys. And this is just where I believe the beginning is. I do believe we're about to enter this phase right now where so many people are about to get caught off sides. Right? So just don't get caught off sides. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Let me say hello to some chats. I see some people came through as well. Much love to every single one of y'all. We got Crypto Wonder in the house. What's good? What's good? What's good? Tam Tam, what's up, fam? Hello, hello. We got Checks My Pulse saying good afternoon. What's shaking, Hexicans? Good morning, good morning. Let's get it. From Jason. Evening all from the UK. Exciting times ahead from You Never Walk Alone. Absolutely. We got Atlantean in the house. Hello. We got Crypto Jake in the house. What's up, my boy? Tales from the Crypto, dope shirt. I actually made this shirt. Made this shirt myself. Nice little Zelda. I got the Zelda logo on the side. Did a little Majora's Mask over here with some Zelda on the back, right? All that good stuff. But I actually made this shirt. Made this shirt myself. I have some fun doing some of the things, guys, and I think everyone should have some sort of fun hobby that they should actually do, you know, to keep themselves pretty occupied, because yeah, it's a fun time looking at crypto for sure, but you know, if you shake yourself out too early, you're gonna beat yourself up. If you have the potential to, you know, be here at the end, then awesome. Crypto Jake says nice background, appreciate that, my friend. Drick's in the house, what's going on, my boy? Buying this little dip today. Facts, Crypto Chronicles, we finally have 1 million PX today. Congratulations. Congratulations, right? And again, I pulled this up on the stream yesterday, and I got a few different corrections on the ink price to be, you know, adjusted correctly. So I actually got that situated. What the heck? I actually got that situated as well. And so what essentially is, I ended up, because again, I had the ink price at the all-time low of like 75 cents or something along that line. And so what I ended up doing was I actually adjusted it to the 39.47 cents that it ended up being. You know, I just went to Deck Screener and, you know, pulled it up from there. I had pulled it up from CoinGecko. Anyways, long story short, we got it fixed. So if you're sitting on 1 million PHEX and it just does any of these numbers, have fun doing that math, right? Because you look at 1 million PHEX, for example, even just reaching 100x from the all-time low, and you still end up with a bag of roughly about $357,000. That's pretty damn good, guys. That's pretty damn good, and that's just at the 35-cent level. Me personally, I think we at least see 300x from all-time low, which puts it at $1 for hex on Pulse Chain. You end up looking at the level for all of these tokens. It's easy enough to do the math. All you gotta do is just figure out how many tokens you have, multiply by whatever number that you see in this little chart right here, and bam, that gives you a figure as to what's possible. Should it do 1000x from the all-time low, which I absolutely believe is a very strong possibility as well, you're looking at $3.58, which, by the way, 1 million hex on Pulse Chain would still put it at $3.5 million. And the numbers get even crazier from there, guys. The numbers get even crazier from there. So yeah, congrats on getting that milli. Dope trumpet background music, appreciate. Month of what exactly? More downside? You said 26 months to go, but it's only down. No. 26 months is the entire marathon run of 26 miles during a marathon, right? We've already run for 19 miles, or we've already run for 19 months. Okay? Like at that point in time, that is when you start looking at how far have you already gone and how much time is remaining, right? And at this point in time, me personally, I think there's roughly around 7 to 10 months remaining, right? And I'm kind of skipping forward into January right now whenever I say 10 months, so I guess I'll say 11 because we're still in December right now. So there's really like 7 to 11 months remaining right now, but I think you're about to see a lot of mad stupid money by April because things take off, guys. I've used this example in the past, but let me just kind of pull up actually, you know, a chart just so y'all can kind of see exactly kind of what I'm referring to. So Matic is a chart that I like to, you know, reference whenever I pull up this kind of information. But here we go, max log, and and I'll just kind of zoom on in over here. Can I make this a full screen? Let me just see if I can make this a full screen real fast. One sec, guys. Oh, I can't make it full screen. I just gotta push that button. All right, cool. Cool. So right here, what you're seeing is a chart of Matic. Okay, so back in this time, this is kind of where we currently are right now, right? So during this time, you get the September, you know, August, October time frame. All this time, Matic is sitting somewhere between 10, you know, 2 cents a penny, somewhere in this range, right? Not really doing anything too crazy, not getting too crazy as well with all of this. By December, it's still roughly around a penny, right? Nothing too crazy. Again, maybe 2 cents. By February, Okay, cool. It's around 4 cents, right? So you've seen a beautiful 3-4x on the capital by the February timeframe. So you're doing pretty well, in my opinion, right? You start looking at this money and you're like, yeah, fine. You know, I'm starting to see some pumps, like, yes. And again, guys, you have to understand, you could have been buying it down here well below a penny, but I'm just talking where we currently are right here, which is around this December timeframe, all the way up to roughly in this February timeframe. You're going to be looking around this 4 cent time frame ballpark, and again, this is around February. That's a 4x that you're roughly getting. So just kind of imagine we sitting on these tokens right now, we do a 4x from where we currently are, whatever the prices may be. So we're up roughly about 2x from SAC on Pulse Chain. You're up above SAC on PulseX. You start getting into the, you know, close to 10 cent level on Hex on Pulse Chain. It's a fun time. People are feeling absolutely bullish, right? You're just like, oh my god, this is enjoyable. And from February to April, right, the thing went up and already did a, you know, another 10x from there. So it starts hitting around 40 cents from here. This is that March April timeframe where you're now around 40 cents. So boom, you've done a 4x in the beginning of the year. You just did another 10x by April. Many people are like, woo, this is a moment I've been waiting for. This is what we're here for. And then by May, the motherfucker went off and hit $2.45. Stupid money, stupid fast. No one was ready for it. It caught everyone off guard. If you were buying down here, you just got to see a beautiful 100x plus, especially if you're actually buying the lows back over here, right? Below a penny all the way up to $2.45. Congratulations, guys. This is what is potentially going to be possible in the near future, right? The next 7 months to 11 months, because I think the bull market goes until the end of the year of 25. But by April, you should see mad money, mad fast, and I hope y'all all are ready for it. Okay, I hope y'all are all ready for it, because it's just so freaking wild, guys. It is just one of those deals that you can see right away, right? Yeah, so exactly, right? So give me 1 second. Let me just message the wife real fast. All right, cool. All right, cool. So yeah, at this point in time, this is kind of what is going on, right? At this point in time, you're doing pretty damn good, guys. We're at the point in time where, you know, it's getting close, guys. It is getting close. Where you're gonna end up having to make it all as well, to see what's going on overall. Pimp Barbecue Sauce asks, what's the name of the marathon runner? It is John Stephen Akhwari. That's Akhwari. John Stephen Akhwari is the marathon runner who said, my country didn't send me 5,000 miles to start the race. They sent me 5,000 miles to finish it, right? And so what is the reason why you started this in the first place? Why did you join this community? Why did you purchase the tokens? Why did you sacrifice? And again, double down on the convictions, man. Like, it is at the point in time where you don't start doubting now. You've already waited this long, and people are just going to start chasing new shiny objects, chasing the tokens that are already pumping. And I understand, to each their own. They're absolutely willing to do whatever they want to do right now. But 7 months, like You Never Walk Alone says, is nothing. It's nothing. You've already done the hard work, right? You've done the hard work. Yeah, it is a marathon reference. 26 miles to get through. 1000%. Pimp Barbecue asks, why 26 months? It's a marathon reference, guys. It's because if you just look at from the time Pulse Chain launched, May of 2023, you do 2 years after that, that's 24 months. That's May of 2025. You're gonna see stupid money from there, guys. I've just showed a chart just moments ago, and I can pull up multiple examples. Matic wasn't the only one that did that. That was altcoins as well. Altcoins went stupid freaking crazy from January to May. Mad crazy, really crazy from that January to February timeframe. You get to see that 4x, you get to see some hype, you get to see some hope. But then really from February to May, holy smokes, guys, strap in. That's when the rocket just goes boosh and it just takes off like crazy. So the 26 mile month reference is just to give you some context, because by June or July of 2025, you should be well within a plenty good amount of profit. Hopefully you've taken profits along the way. Again, I'm actually putting together a kind of a profit taking plan of different levels for my Patreon members, for the 5P community. Link down below if you want to join. Putting this together, putting it up on the weekend for Sunday. You're gonna have a nice little video explaining a simple profit taking plan, a more advanced profit taking plan, and how you can actually make money on the profit that you've taken as well. And I've pitched this multiple times from several people, and they're already so bullish, they're already taking advantage of it right now. So again, if you want to join, you're welcome to. Check the link out down below. It's available for all the tiers. It doesn't matter which tier you join, it's available for everyone there as well. Checks my pulse, saluting everyone, saying here for the long haul. Take that, take that. Is Hex the greatest crypto ever put together? I do believe so, my friend. Pimp Barbecue Sauce, I do believe Hex is one of the, if not the best crypto to ever come around, right? And it's one of those situations that, again, the more you dive into, the more you just want to stake out, right? Because I want to be a part of this 15 years from now, right? There's a reason why I got in. I got literally, I got people literally right now buzzed from Christmas party talking. They know. He said, she said, crypto, lol, I should sell and put it in XRP. I'm outside now. They're going to get wrecked. Lol. I mean, hey, XRP is finally pumping, dude. Like, they've waited freaking years. You want to talk about waiting? You want to talk about conviction? You want to talk about someone who does believe? Dude, shout out to the XRP army. I fucking wish them the best of luck. I want them to make the maddest of gains. 7 years to break all-time high, and it hasn't even technically done it yet right now, but it's getting pretty darn close finally. They got the RLUSD coming out, RLUSD coming out. They got multiple things with the case of the SEC being dropped or dismissed or whatever the case may be. Like, they have some bullish news finally happening. You got people holding on to that coin for 7 freaking years. These people here in the Pulse Chain community can't even hold it on for 2 years in general. That's kind of comical, you know what I mean? Like, we haven't even made it to the 2-year mark. We're what, a year and 10 months in, a year and 7 months in right now? Not that far, right? Well, I guess we're 19 months in, right? So that makes it simple. So that's how long we are, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. We are plenty ready and prepared for what is about to happen over the next several months. I think between January to April, you're gonna see more money than you've ever seen in your entire life. And God forbid it takes until May or June. Okay. Like, are you really gonna be that pissed? Like, I hope you wouldn't be. I hope you wouldn't be. Unfortunately, I think many people are, because it just kind of is what it is. Right? It is what it is at that point in time, guys. Yeah, exactly. Pimp Barbecue Sauce says 100%. Lock in right now. Cheers to y'all. Cheers to y'all still here. We've come this far. We lived delayed gratification lesson for 3 years already. Facts on facts. Facts on facts on facts. Drix in the house was good, my boy. Oh, chat just went flying. Hold up. You got this. Great chart. Appreciate that. Atlantean, Fire. What's up, Gabriel? What's up? What's up? Stressful Struggle. We in the right place. We early. We OGs 2.0. Facts, guys. And hey, dude, if you've been around since like even 2021 in the bull market and the bear market, you're an OG, man. Like, you've been around since the Pulse Chain sacrifice. You're an OG, man. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy the ride. Enjoy what's about to come. Like, there's money to be made in a whole lot of places, sure. But there's strong conviction in myself that, dude, you start looking at the numbers I'm looking at right now with that chart that I just showed up moments ago with the X's, and it gets pretty darn freaking crazy, guys, right? It gets pretty darn crazy. This is where you start seeing, you know, myself, you start looking at some of these tokens where you're like, okay, cool. Looking at all this data right now, it's going to look pretty darn good toward that time. Just for S's and G's, I just want to kind of show y'all, you know, another little 100x example real quick. So this is Cardano right here, guys. If you don't know, like, this is a token I was actually in before I found Hex, and I'm thankful that I found Hex, guys. Straight the F up. So during this time of, we'll just pull it up from here to here, right? So from this time in 2020, Cardano's around this 7-cent time frame. Really gets, you know, around the 3-cent time frame, kind of in the beginning of the year, that kind of stuff. A little bit below 3 cents, all this good stuff that you can start seeing in 2020. And by December, right, you start seeing some gains, some pumps. And this is kind of what we're seeing in our ecosystem right now, where you've seen some tokens go up and do kind of that 4x, 7x from the all-time lows. we're kind of in that same situation right now. So now we're in this like, you know, roughly around 10-cent threshold right here. You're kind of wondering what's going to happen, what's going on. And again, if you were buying down here, you get to absolutely benefit from what we're about to see. Because then by, you know, December and January, you start seeing some pumps, right? You start seeing, okay, cool. Now we're in this like 20-30 cent range. Now we're starting to see some action. Now we're starting to see some pumps. Again, you're buying down here and it's 3 cents and stuff like that. So that's a nice little 10x on your money. Congratulations. That's some of the gain that you're going to end up making. And then by this time in May, the thing ended up hitting all the way up to like $2.17. And yes, it had a pullback. It had a pretty significant pullback all the way down to $1, meaning people are going to wash the F out at this point in time. And then it rallied all the way up to like $3 during the actual all-time high. So this is where a lot of people made a whole bunch of money. You got to see that nice 100x gain. Again, if you were just holding the quote tokens from down here, 2.3 cents, somewhere in this ballpark, and you get to see hold it all the way up here, that was a beautiful 100x gain at that point in time, right? A nice 100x gain. This happened to a lot of different crypto tokens. Again, I'm not just pulling up, you know, Cardano and Matic as the examples. Like, this was what happened on these cryptos, guys. They went absolutely bonkers, and we're history is fucking rhyming and repeating in every way possible. There was a little chart that I saw earlier, basically called like a Bitcoin rainbow, essentially. And you can pull it up on the chart as well for the Bitcoin rainbow wave. I'll pull it up as well just so that way y'all can kind of see. It's not going to have all the same data and facts, or I have it to where it shows all the same data and facts, but it may be a little bit more confusing. So essentially what this shows is that the overall crypto cycle is doing the exact same thing it did previously. In 2020 and 2017 and all the previous cycles, it's doing the exact same freaking cycle once again. So up here, you ended up getting into this color. Again, I'm freaking colorblind, guys. I know it's rainbow, so I'm going to assume it's green. I don't know, somewhere in this little color right here. Let me just make it so that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's in this little range right here. This is 2017. Boom, it starts going crazy. You start getting into the next level, start getting hit. Boom, it starts getting hit. You go up to this next level, it starts getting hit. Then you end up peaking out. 2017, boom, toward the end of the year, it ends up rallying down during the bear market, ends up hitting the all-time low situation, and it kind of goes through the whole same bear market situation. Boom, you end up doing this in 2020. All the way back here, you end this in the green situation. Boom, once again, you're up here. You start rallying once again. Boom, you peak the top right around the same time frame. This is in the March, April, May time frame, as we've stated previously multiple times. And then it ended up doing the exact same cycle. Boom, it came down here and it ends up going through the bear market once again. Well, where are we on the chart right here? Well, we're on this level right now, breaking up into this level right here, breaking into the next level, which tends to put us all the way up into all-time high situations, which again, my number, you know, even for here, just on average on the low side, is about $242,000 right now, right? So this puts us well within into this little echelon up here of 240K for Bitcoin. Again, does it happen by January? No, right? Does it happen during, like, you know, the May time frame? Maybe. Can we see a pullback for the sell in May, go away situation until September, October, ends up rallying up again up to 500K? It is absolutely possible. Can we just double top like we did in 2021? It is absolutely possible. Like, I just want to be here during this time period, guys. Like, that is what I'll say. I don't want to miss out on what's potentially going to be coming, especially in the RH ecosystem. I don't want to miss out on none of that right there, guys. Okay? Like, and I share this because unfortunately, so many people, let me just kind of reset this. So many people are going to be caught off sides, caught off guard. They're going to just be left behind. And guys, the cycle's fucking rhyming. It literally is. Like, we're in this same threshold right here. It's about to break up into the upper echelon. Once again, you start looking at the overall, you know, peak top cycle. We're in the April to May time frame. It probably ends up coming back down. Maybe it retests it again. Maybe it flies past it. Maybe it just goes through the bear market phase. Who knows the exact phase? But guys, get ready, because really, you got a few months remaining, man. You got a few months remaining. And I hope y'all are actually ready for what is to come. What's up, Alan? How you doing, man? What's up, Flow? Gonna go start back at 1.5x. Thanks for the stream. Absolutely appreciate that. Appreciate you joining. Stop it with the ETH prices. I need cold shower right now. Yeah, dude, $42,000 for ETH. Can you imagine? And again, like, that's gonna be, you know, if we're at $700,000 Bitcoin, people are gonna be calling for $1 million Bitcoin this cycle. But there's several large institutional players who are talking about a $15 trillion market cap for Bitcoin this cycle. And if it hits $15 trillion market cap this cycle, that puts the price at $700,000 or somewhere around there. So I'm just using the numbers to break it down. You divide that by how many, or you multiply that by the overall percentage of ETH and where that typically is for the ratio. And it ends up looking mad bullish as well, guys. Mad bullish. These are absolutely crazy. Charts are always fires. Appreciate that. What are your thoughts on him pumping EHEX with the SAC funds? He should, man. Why not? I don't know. If he wants to pump it, dude. I think all of them are going to get pumped. And what's funny is it's a heck of a lot easier to pump the EHEX side because the liquidity is so much less on the Ethereum side right now. All right, if you look at the liquidity overall with the, you know, Pulse Chain, Pulse X, you're looking at $23-25 million in liquidity in those tokens and all that good stuff. It becomes a little bit harder to, we'll say, pump the price, right? It takes a little bit more capital to go up and pump the price. But yeah, I mean, $66 million in liquidity on the Pulse Chain side. You know, on the Pulse, I'm sorry, $48 million on the Pulse Chain side, $66 million in liquidity on the Pulse X side. And that's just trading between certain pairs. There's a heck of a lot more liquidity amongst all the different pairs spread out. But when you start getting into like the EHEX chart, right, just like the HEX on Ethereum price, I think there was like $2 million in liquidity. Let's just pull up. Let me see if I can pull up an actual chart for HEX on WETH. Liquidity wise, yeah, there's $1 million in liquidity on this particular pair, and it'll probably be against USDC over here. Over on it'll probably be against USDC is my guess on the Ethereum side. So let's just see if I can do it against USDC real fast. Yeah, $148,000 in liquidity. I mean, hold on, let me just kind of play around with some numbers. Yeah, there's like $1 million in liquidity. There's not much, which is why the EHEX price has a chance to typically pump a little faster than most of the tokens. Not only that, you end up seeing it also get a little bit of a larger correction on pullbacks when it does end up starting to pull back. Because again, there's just less liquidity. Because there's less liquidity, it has a much easier time to move prices, right? Much love and respect as well, Gabriel. January HEX conference should be legendary if I had to guess. I don't know if they're doing a January HEX conference. I know they're doing one in March. Merry Xmas, ATX. Appreciate you, Archie. The Mr. Max says, good to see you streaming. Pump it up. Facts on facts. Pump up the likes, guys. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying the content, be sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let everybody know that you're enjoying the stream. As always, we got Garmer as well, or Garmister, saying what's up. Buy the Abyss, dude. You do what you got to, man. Started with a 5-year mindset plan for Pulse Chain and Pulse X anyways, and you got to maintain that mindset, guys. It's easy enough to come up and start the mindset, but maintaining that mindset is oftentimes more difficult than one could possibly imagine. May, then dip in summer, then top. Yeah, again, like if we see a 2017 cycle, we're not going to really get that dip, right? You're not going to see the September, you know, sell and may go away situation either, right? You're gonna see a correction for sure, but then it ends up like rallying even faster and crazier, right? So like let's just kind of pull up the chart once again over here. So if we end up again back in 2017, you can kind of see what ended up happening. So you end up getting the whole 16 rally over here. You get a nice little rally that starts to end up happening. This is again putting us into the already May situation. So you've already done a pretty good pump from this time. You get the May situation. A lot of people would say, you know, sell in May, go away. Well, this is actually when it actually started, guys. And again, you can kind of go up here. It started in June, had a slight pullback, and then it just absolutely flew up to the freaking moon, right? And this is again for people buying over here was $400 Bitcoin back here, $600 Bitcoin, all the way up to like $18,000 Bitcoin, right? It absolutely just got freaking sent flying right there. Now, many people thought, and it actually had done this each previous cycle too, right? If you actually go back and look in the early cycle before there was all the other altcoins and that kind of stuff, 2013, you can kind of see you had December right here, right before absolute takeoff, which puts us into April, which again, April was in this time frame. You had some sell-off right here, and then it just absolutely flew past once again. So this actually has happened multiple times. Well, the thing that threw everyone off in 2021, well, people were kind of expecting it to do something similar, but instead it didn't really do that, right? So March of 2020, where the prices, you know, around here, it did the same first rally, which everyone was kind of expecting, right? Everyone kind of expected this to be happening. They expected some level of pullback, but they thought this sucker would actually continue to rally, which is why a lot of people are calling for like 150, 200K Bitcoin last cycle, right? But it didn't actually do that. It actually ended up double topping. And again, a double top in technical analysis is bearish. So if you end up hitting this level where you get a double top situation, it's going to be bearish in that situation, right? Which same thing can be said for a double bottom, right? When you end up getting double bottoms as well, it is actually very bullish. So keeping all that in mind, it just depends on what we end up doing this cycle, right? Does it end up playing out with a similar situation where we get that little rally going into the, do we get that little rally that goes into like May timeframe, somewhere in here, right? Somewhere in this April, May timeframe, we're up in this 240K range possibly already. I don't know, right? We're gonna have to see what happens. But if Donald Trump signs the executive order day one to start buying Bitcoin, I can assume Bitcoin's probably gonna start doing some pretty crazy things pretty fast as well, right? And then you have the sell in May situation, which many people are gonna sell, right? So it could come back down, retest like 130, 140, even heck, you know, on the lower echelon, which would absolutely freak people out, $70,000, right? In this little range, or $80,000, somewhere in here, absolutely wash people out of their positions. Now, I don't know if we end up seeing a 60% dip. That's tough to say. Bitcoin hasn't really done its normal dips. We've only got one 30% dip this whole pump. So does it end up kind of like doing some pullback and then just rally up into the 700K range like we just talked about moments ago, where you end up getting into that $15 trillion Bitcoin level? And that's more of the 2013, 2017 cycle, or we do a, you know, double top situation where we end up coming up and retesting this 240 again and kind of getting rejected right here. If other countries and nations and everyone starts adopting Bitcoin, I'm tending to lean toward a more bullish side. Now, obviously, you just got to wait and see how it all ends up playing out. But you know, I think at this point in time, you know, you should still be taking profit, especially toward the beginning of the year, right? From like January to April, you should have some plan in place to take some profit off the table, especially if you end up getting that sell in May situation and go away. So do we end up just coming up and retesting out this, you know, 135 range, which would kind of put us here in this like first little level? Do we end up getting that, or do we actually end up pushing past? I think we got to see how the whole year ends, but shit, dude, if it wants to continue, we could see Bitcoin break into like that 115, 120, 125 even by end of year. And again, you know, we've kind of pulled up what Ethereum would do as well, but if it's around $135,000 per Bitcoin and the ratios maintain a similar ratio as they are right now between ETH, BTC. So if you end up kind of looking right now, it's around 0.037, right? So like somewhere in this ratio, if we maintain this similar ratio and Bitcoin's in the 135K range, well, then Ethereum ends up being at, you know, $4,900, almost $5,000. And guess what? That breaks Ethereum's previous all-time high, right? And this is when, you know, people start getting super bullish at that point in time. You start breaking this little line right here that people have been stuck at for, you know, since 2021, right? But at this point in time, we're starting to see that like double top, and guess what? Double top, bearish situation, we went down. Do we end up coming down and retesting out a double bottom? Who knows, right? Does it end up bouncing up here, making that higher high, higher low situation like we just discussed? It's very likely, right? This is that similar situation. We just got to wait and see how the market's actually going to play out. But I think if Bitcoin is reaching 135 by end of year, Ethereum is breaking its previous all-time highs by end of year as well. That's what I'm saying. If Bitcoin maintains a real, you know, relatively similar area right here, then yeah. I mean, but guys, these charts are shaking up to be very beautiful. If I was to just compare again Bitcoin back here against Ethereum and just kind of see kind of what's going on, well, Ethereum lags, right? And so we've talked about this already, but Ethereum, if it's already lagging, you know, a couple weeks behind, well, this is what Bitcoin did. Whoops, went back to the ETH chart. This is what Bitcoin did during that first, you know, during that first little session right here. So you ended up getting a nice little bullish movement that actually ended up happening. And what ended up going on was you got this nice little bullish hammer right here, but it kind of went sideways and then it just pumped, right? And so if you end up in that similar situation with Ethereum, well, we're kind of getting that little sideways action. We're seeing that little bullish hammer right here. Should it actually flip green for the week? Again, it's Tuesday right now. So I could absolutely see this flipping green. So the chart would look kind of like this, where you'd actually get a nice little green candle chart up here, nice little bullish hammer. almost a doji engulfing kind of, but that would be absolutely mad bullish as well. And it would put the Ethereum price into that 4,800, 5K range. Which, you know, that's kind of that alt season mentality. Once Ethereum really starts rallying and start going, that's when you start seeing all these other tokens really start taking off. So you've seen some action already from like tokens like Solana breaking its previous all-time high, but then getting some pullback. Even though, you know, Bitcoin's still pumping right now, right? But this actually already hit a 25% pullback, 23% pullback. Many people got shook out because guess what? They bought the local top. Right, they got caught up in this hype cycle. They bought the local top. They see the price dip and they're like, shit, I need to get out. I need to go get into the next token that's actually pumping. And it's this never-ending cycle that you end up trying to chase pumps. That's a dangerous game to play. You will get left behind 100% in this game of crypto. It is not a friendly game or a friendly place to actually be, you know, testing that kind of stuff out, guys. So I would not be, you know, playing around in that world. But hopefully that gives you some ideas, some clarity, some good stuff. Is 50 million pulse chain good enough? Well, I mean, do the math yourself, right? What do these numbers look like for 50 million, right? So for S's and G's at a 300x from, you know, all-time low situation, 50 million times 0.00774, 387,000. That's a good amount of money, my guy, or gal, you know, depending upon whoever you are. So that's a good amount, but 387,000. I mean, that's, you start taking some profits out of that toward, you know, top of the bull market type range. You pull out 150K, and you know, again, not financial advice, just do whatever you want. Is it enough to go retire on? Like, probably not. I wouldn't think that's enough to go retire on by any stretch of the imagination, but could you live a better lifestyle, take a little vacation, maybe work a little bit less? Absolutely, you definitely could, right? And hopefully you don't just have 50 million pulse. Hopefully you do have some other tokens as well. And those other tokens also perform very well during this bull market, right? It's not just, you know, I only have this one token, and relying on one token will typically end up leading you to feel FOMO when other tokens start pumping. For example, like if we start seeing Ink start hitting 78 cents or $78 again, or breaking its previous all-time high of $80, you're gonna be mad that, you know, your token for Pulse Chain, because basically all the tokens against Pulse Chain has been outperforming Pulse Chain, right? Hex has been outperforming Pulse Chain, eHex has been outperforming Pulse Chain, PulseX has been outperforming Pulse Chain. And so if you end up in a situation where you're holding 50 million pulse and all the other tokens end up doing, we'll say a 500x, and your token does a 300x, you still feel FOMO. You feel like bad. You're like, why did I hold on to this token? A 300x is incredible, by the way. If you see that in crypto, you're doing fucking fire. But again, it never actually ends up happening, or it always ends up happening where you do feel like a level of FOMO still. Never forget the PPPP, which is proper preparation prevents poor performance. Keep that as well. Go hard, it's never enough at these prices. Lol. Too funny. Yeah, I mean, dude, these prices are still incredible. You have plenty of time to still keep DCAing as well if you want to be, you know, building up a bigger position overall. It's like Michael Saylor is doing, buying at 100,000 just constantly, billions of dollars with Bitcoin, because he sees a level at one point in time in the future far and above, and he uses a reference all the time saying, you know, if I could have bought Manhattan real estate 300 years ago, this is what buying Bitcoin at $100,000 is like right now, right? And it's kind of the similar situation with like Pulse Chain, PulseX, and all that as well. It's like you're buying some real estate way back in the time when it was heck of a cheap, and regardless of what's going on, if you can still see 200, 300x your capital, like again, like maybe your average is a little bit higher because you end up buying as prices end up increasing, but at the end of the day, all that matters is how many tokens you have and what the price is when you decide to sell. That's it. So if you end up with 100 million tokens in particular, doing that exact same scenario of the 300x as well, right? And you end up in that situation, well, you're now sitting on $774,000, right? And so it becomes that much easier. And again, while the prices are low, it's a little bit easier to attain another 50 million pulse, right? Heck, we're still below SAC, guys. We are still below SAC. So keep that in mind for everything as well. Bong bong. XRP is Trojan. Facts. Middleman. Yeah, dude. Hex is my base coin in the long run. Love the T-share. There's nothing like it. Round tripping on purpose. 100%, Mr. Max. I do the same, dude. Like, And so like my thoughts on eHex, I've always been a fan of all the tokens, no matter what, right? And so if you're staking your hex in the first place, you can get a heck of a lot more T-shares right now on the Ethereum hex side. If you're just simply purchasing it, yes, you're going to see the mad gains. Yes, you're probably going to see similar ratios as well, even if it maintains a similar ratio, right? So like, let's just assume that this ratio maintains where we currently are right now, which currently the hex to eHex ratio is putting it roughly in the 1 to 4.58 range. We've seen anywhere between 1 to 10. We saw anywhere between 1 to 1.1 at one point in time. It got pretty damn close to reaching parity. So if it falls in the middle, right, 1 to 5 ratio, okay, cool. Well, let's just run some numbers, right? And so like if it ends up reaching certain levels, which, you know, we'll say hex reaches dollar, for example, on Pulse Chain, well, that puts hex over on Ethereum at 20 cents. And if you're buying at these current levels, you still see some mad gains to be had just on the price appreciation alone. When you start getting into the actual staking mechanism, you earn far more rewards by staking Ethereum hex. Yes, the fees are going to be astronomical. So maybe in stakes around beginning of the bull market, end of bull market, somewhere in that time frame, maybe you buy some Ethereum so you can afford some of the gas fees at that time. Sure, there will be a point in time. There's a reason why Pulse Chain was invented in the first place. Maybe you can let it bleed out just for a little while until the fees get back to a reasonable number. Or maybe you take some of the profits that you've made on the other core tokens and use it to end some of the stakes over on the Ethereum hex side. Whatever you decide to do, you get to earn far more. You get to earn roughly about 5 times more T-shares by staking your hex on Ethereum. So send that sucker out long, dude. Like if you don't got a 55-55 stake, not financial advice, send it out long, guys. Like it's this feeling, and I heard Shillgates talk about it the other day, right? And he was talking about, dude, I staked 55-55 and it just felt like this, like almost like a weight lifts off your shoulder, where you're not worried about what's gonna happen in the next 7 months. What's gonna happen in the next 8 months? It's at $1. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Is it gonna go to $10? Is it gonna stay down? Is it gonna drop another 99%? Like, I don't know. You stake it out and you're like, I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm gonna earn additional hex every single day by having it staked, regardless of what's going on. And the benefit of it being staked is there's gonna be days where people end their stakes early, right? And so you're gonna get days like this where if you go to hexdailystats.com, for example, you can actually pull up particular charts over here. And the benefit of like charts like this is it kind of gives you a pretty good idea once it loads. So when you end up looking right here, right? So again, the T-share rate is very similar. It's roughly around 39,000 hex to get 1 T-share, 39,000 hex per 1 T-share. But because the prices are so much more inexpensive over on the Ethereum hex side, you can actually, and what you end up doing by here's what you do, by the way. You buy your hex on Ethereum on Pulse Chain. Simple as that. You accumulate your hex on Ethereum on Pulse Chain until you have enough that you want to stake. And at that point in time, when the GWEI is in a good position and you start looking right here and you're like, what are gas prices doing today? Well, today it's around 10. Wow, good time to actually go possibly use the bridge. Okay, it's 20 right now, just refresh. But again, you wait until the GWEI is actually in a reasonable position. If it's not in a reasonable position, then just wait. And then once it's in a reasonable position, you bridge your eHex over onto the Ethereum side. You claim your eHex because that's what you have to do if you don't know. Once you claim it, you just stake it because you're doing it while the GWEI is low. Once it's staked, you just send it out 15 years and you're like, I'll worry about you in the future, my friend. And you just send it out. So you accumulate on Pulse Chain, you accumulate. Once you have a large enough position that you want to stake, you send it over into the Ethereum side, you stake it. Simple as that. Now, you get 5 times, damn near 5 times more T-shares on the Ethereum hex. And why is this awesome? Because there will be days where there are penalties on both chains, right? There will be days where sometimes the penalty is higher on Pulse Chain. There will be days where the penalty is sometimes higher over on Ethereum. However, the real benefit here is you can actually end up seeing this payout per T-share. There are days where you get 60 hex per T-share. There are days where you get 39 hex per T-share, 24 hex per T-share, 19 hex per T-share. These are incredible days, especially being that the average right now is around 7.3 hex per T-share on average. And that number, by the way, constantly goes up, right? So like, it just keeps going up. Whenever I first got in, it was like 5.8 hex per T-share. Then it was 6, then it was 6.5, then it was 7, Now it's around 7.3, 7.4. You can see right here, 7.5 hex per T-share, 7.5 hex per T-share. These numbers continue to increase over time. But while you're staked, there will be days where someone either gets nuked, something happens, they get hacked, they decide to end their stakes early. And when people decide they're in their stakes early, or if something bad happens, these are actually sent out to all the stakers. So you get this day of payout, which is almost 10 times the amount of hex just by staking. You actually earn yield every day. And granted, even on Pulse Chain, there are days where 38 hex per T-share, 24 hex per T-share, 18 hex per T-share. This happens across the board. So yeah, I'm a big fan of both hexes, guys, straight up. Always loved them, always been appreciative of them. You stake it, you worry about it in the future. Hex is a long-term play in my personal opinion. It has the ability for you to stake it in the first place in a great staking mechanism, which keeps you from wrecking yourself. So yes, I am a big fan of staking hex. The people who talk about not staking their hex are people who are just sad plebs, in my opinion, because they're scared they're going to see themselves go from millions of dollars again in their portfolio, unable to access it because it's all staked, and then they're going to write it all down to zero, and that's the end. And they're going to be like, boo fucking who, right? Cry me a river. That's the reason why you stake your hex in the first place, so that way you can see the times where it actually continues to appreciate. Simple as that, right? And so I want to share that with everyone. But yeah, dude, my opinion on eHex, love it, love it. These same people I told you about have zero crypto knowledge. Of course, they never do, right? These are the people on the hype cycle talking about the Dogecoin, the Shiba Inus, the Pepes of the day, right? They start hearing a new meme coin that's out there. Did you hear about Moo Dang? Dude, let me tell you, did you hear about that scam? Hawk Tua? Oh man, I lost all my money on that. Yeah, dude, I did too, right? And so it's like, you're like, what the fuck am I listening to right now? Why am I even? And you can't really save those people. I've been in the position where you hear those people and I want to be like, dude, you got to go check out this. Here's some information, go share it. If people aren't wanting to hear that information, if they're not coming for you to get advice or information on that situation, I just let them fucking go, guys. Straight the F up. I don't worry about it. I just let them go, okay? What are your thoughts? Oh yeah, I just shared that as well. Thoughts on eHex? Cool. Hit the like button, guys. Facts on facts. Cheers to all the new OGs. Much love as well. Oi oi, Red Squirrel. What's good? Get your mindset ready. Now, it will freak you out, but the diamond hands will win. Your future self will thank you. Facts. Remember the crazy numbers they threw around before Pulse Chain launched? 500, 1500x. They're still out there. Fools thought it was in the first year in a bear market. 5 years, layer one shows nice chart. Yeah, dude. So like whenever, thanks for taking the time to stream. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, so like, let's just kind of pull up one of those charts, right? So I think I have it saved to my desktop actually. Where are you? Oh, here we go. I think this is what I'm referring to right here. Yeah. All right, cool. So here you go. Simple right here, guys. How high can Pulse Chain go? This is just a comparison against other tokens. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, right? Another layer one situations. Polkadot, BNB, all the good stuff, right? How long on average did it take to see multiple hundreds, if not thousands of X's? And in this case, 3,900X was the average multiple. And that's 3.8 years, folks. Again, we are on month 19. We haven't even reached a 2-year mark yet, right? And so if you can see average of faster than 3.8 years, you're already doing better than the average, right? And you start looking at some of these numbers and you're like, dude, I can potentially see, again, 1,000x on these tokens, right? Like my personal levels that I think Pulse Chain will get to is around 2 pennies to 3 pennies on Pulse Chain. Possibly on the PulseX side, you know, looking between a penny to 2 pennies, somewhere in there. Maybe it goes higher, maybe it goes lower. Hex over on Ethereum, I think it's around $1. Hex over on Pulse Chain, I think it's around 3. These are the numbers I also do believe in. 1,000x potential? Sure. Now, what if one token does 1,000x, one does a 1,500x, one does a 500x? Do I really give a F if my average is 1,000x? Like, no, I don't. Again, I'm not going to be mad that one token outperformed the other. If I wanted to be in one core token, or if I wanted to be in one token, I would have already put myself in that situation. But to control my emotions and keep them in check, I have myself positioned across all the tokens because I want them all. I want to be like Ash Ketchum, catch them all, man. I don't want to be in a situation where I look at this sucker and it's like, holy F, I could have ended up doing if I just went all in. Like hindsight 2020, sure, you can always look back and be like, man, if I knew Pulse X was the winner of this whole situation, I would have gone all in on Pulse X. Sure, you can always say that. But if you were going to do something, go fucking do it, right? Like, simple as that. Or just be appreciative that you get to see hundreds, if not thousands of X's potentially made on your money. Are you going to be mad that you made a fucking 500X on your money? Stop being greedy, right? Like, that's going to be happening, unfortunately, all the freaking time, guys. This is why I had the whole mindset talk this at the beginning of the stream. Because it's one of those situations that you're just like, get your freaking mind right, guys. Like, straight up, don't be greedy in this situation. Make sure to have a solid freaking plan to take profits along the way. It's awesome that you have been solid AF right through the bear. One word comes to me: integrity, dude. Shout out, much love, for real. Yeah, dude, again, I've always, stayed true to what I've believed in the entire time. I haven't detracted, I haven't steered anyone away. If you want to go play around and go have some other fun and make some money, I want everyone to make all the freaking money possible, man. It's just not a play that I'm willing to do myself. And if I look at some of these numbers and I'm like, dude, if I just do some of the numbers on a 20x, a 30x, a 50x, a 200x, a 500x, the money that I can make on that is already good for me. So like, why would I go play around in these other coins? Like, I don't want to go play around in those other coins personally, right? I'll wait, I'll be patient, I'm cool. I've waited this long already. Am I really not okay with waiting a few extra months? I'm okay with waiting a few extra months, man. And I think that's the mindset y'all have to get yourself in as well. We've run so far already on this marathon race. You've been here since not only 2023 of Pulse Chain launching, but potentially even the sacrifice back in 2021. And if you've been around that long, then damn, why you're gonna quit right at the fucking finish line? Like, that's wild to me. So I appreciate the comment though, appreciate that. Digital Farmer, I have 3 million Hex, 350 million Pulse, 250 million Pulse X, and receiving 25 ink from farming. Should I sell the ink to buy more Pulse? Not financial advice. So here's a fun chart you should kind of look at sometimes. It's basically ink against Pulse, and you just kind of look and see, if you're trying to get more Pulse chain, what's the strategy to do in that situation? Like, is it beneficial to go that route and all that good stuff, right? Here we go. 1 second. Peeking down. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, cool. So, fun information over here. But again, you say, if you're looking to do that particular trade, ink to Pulse, for example, like this is if you're farming, for example, and you should have get out points as well. That's neither here nor there. I just kind of have it on the chart. If you want to be a part of the Patreon, again, I go over all this as well, discussing different liquidity providing plans, different strategies of when to get out when farming and all that good stuff as well. That way you can take less risk, still earn some additional capital. Again, link is down in the description below. But if you're looking at potentially swapping your ink for Pulse, well, right now, over the last few days, like, ink is actually underperforming Pulse. Like in this situation, ink is actually underperforming, meaning Pulse is actually performing better. So if I'm wanting to possibly swap some ink for Pulse, me personally, looking at this chart, I'm going to probably want to do it somewhere in the upper echelon range up here. Now, again, is there a big difference between these prices? Like, there's not too much difference. So are you going to beat yourself up? No. But again, it's about a 45% difference. So if you were to swap your ink for Pulse, for example, let's just say you got 5 million by doing the swap, for example. I'm just using some easy numbers. By waiting until it got up here, you could potentially end up getting 7.5 million instead. Again, like, I'm just looking at this from that standpoint. But usually if you're trying to do like ratio trading and that kind of stuff, I usually want the other token to be like outperforming. Now, granted, since the beginning of the year, right? Or really, yeah, since the beginning of the year, ink has absolutely been outperforming, right? It's already done multiples above Pulse Chain, right? Like in this situation, it's up 4.6x against Pulse Chain right now. So could you do it? Is it a good time? like, yeah, you're still winning in this situation overall. But being that we've already been in this consolidation range for, you know, however long we've been here for, right, roughly about March, we've just kind of played in this range, and it's kind of gone up, it's gone down. I think there will be a point in time where ink swaps back into a more aggressive play, being that all the tokens so far have outperformed Pulse Chain against Pulse Chain, right? If I look at Hex as well, and I kind of pull up a similar chart over here and just kind of compare it against Pulse Chain, well, you can see it has its points in time where, again, it has actually been outperforming Pulse Chain. And again, all the charts kind of end up showing something very similar whenever I look at some of these charts. So is it a good time? Like, yeah, I mean, sure. But, you know, if I'm being a little bit more greedy in this situation, I'm probably going to end up waiting, right? All right, cool. So thanks for the stream, they say. Appreciate you as well. Thanks for the stream, ATX. As no one better to follow. Merry Xmas to everyone. Appreciate that, man. I'm receiving 25 ink daily from Farman. Congrats. Thanks, man. Of course. Fox Molder in the house. As your Patreon, $5 a month. Yeah, dude, $5 a month, $20 a month, or $55 a month. There are different tiers. Also, if you become a member of YouTube, you also get access to the Patreon too. So all good there. But yeah, it starts out at $5 a month. I feel to join after Christmas. Dude, enjoy, man. I'd love to have you here. I had a steak ripen this week. Gas is $300. Waited for cheaper gas. Still $150. Gonna let it bleed. Yeah. So Fox, I've said this in the past, right? Like, if you got a steak that's bleeding, you look at it from two different perspectives. You say, is the steak worth XYZ that you're gonna pay in gas? If it's not worth XYZ, then instead of paying the gas to go in that steak, you could actually just go buy it directly on the open market. And so sometimes that's what I would end up doing. If I had a steak that I did, which is a smaller amount of hex back in the day, you know, because I did multiple steaks throughout, and I had a smaller hex steak and it came due, I look at it and I say, it's going to cost me how much to end it? And it only gives me, like, let's just say, for example, the amount of hex that you end up having is $75 hex in there, but you end up needing to spend $150 in gas fee. You're like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. I won't spend $150 to go get that $75 in hex. I'll just go buy $150 worth of hex on the open market in that example. So that's how I would end up doing it too. Crypto long term saves me. Facts on facts. What's up, 10 Top in the house? Just steak and chill. Facts on that. I feel you. Got one bleeding right now on ETH. That one may just end up being a tribute to the staker class. Facts, dude. 55s are my greatest moonbag ever invented. They actually are the greatest moonbag ever invented for sure. Funkmaster Hex in the chat. What's up, my boy? 10 Top, what's up? What's up? Give me some moon math predictions, ATX. What are you really bullish on? If you had to pick one coin, which is your favorite? Dude, I'm bullish on all of them. Like, again, I think, you know, moon math on all the tokens that you end up seeing right now, pretty darn bullish across the board for all of these tokens, right? And it comes from like multiple different perspectives overall too, right? So like, let's just say over here, whoa, that was a fun chart that I was drawing on back here. And yeah, so like, let's just pull up a similar chart over here. 1 second. Yeah, so whenever I look at like this chart right here, like this is the wrapped Ethereum to pulse ratio. If it just maintained this similar ratio, somewhere in this $52 million per the Ethereum that you end up getting overall, right? And so like right now, you look at this, that one Ethereum gets you 52 million pulse chain, okay? And let's just say, for example, let me just do some fun math overall. So it's roughly around what, 3,900 for Ethereum right now. 3865 is the actual correct number. 52 million. Okay, cool. So it puts it around here. So multiply that by, let's just do that fun moon math. Ethereum ends up reaching $15,000 for this example. Then it still puts us in the ballpark up here for pulse chain. Yeah, hold up. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so it still puts the ballpark up there, roughly in the, yeah, dude, I'm not doing the fun math. Again, math-wise on my stream right now is not working out. Got the wife wanting me to, you know, come on and cook some dinner real fast. So my mind's going a million different places right now. I'll worry about the moon math predictions on some later streams. But I want to wrap this up with the last people who sent the text. But again, moon math wise, dude, 1000x potential on all the tokens. Just kind of do the moon math on what that could potentially end up putting you at. Again, these are the 1000x potentials on these tokens down here. You can see them down below. So you end up getting 1000x on all these tokens. That's kind of the simple moon math perspective as to where I could see things going. And just do that times whatever your bag size is. Again, I'll do the math a little bit later whenever my head's not going a million places. But yeah, people are remembering how much ETH sucks due to the gas. Even simple swap can cost $20 or $30 depending upon timing. Yeah, dude. Get your hex ladders in order, folks, before the price moons. 260 million pulse hex, 220 million pulse, 630,000 hex, 1 million e-hex, and 80 ink. Thoughts on where to improve. So I actually have a full-on spreadsheet for, again, the Patreon members as well, but it's actually a portfolio rebalancing tool. And so essentially what it does on this one is it kind of gives you a, you know, idea as to where you could look to improve if you wanted to improve upon certain things. So like over here, let me just kind of like use this for, it's a fun example real fast, and I'll just kind of pull it up on stream for a brief second with y'all. But again, this is available for all the Patreon members too. This actually kind of gives you an idea of, you can say, hey, I wanted to maintain a ratio around certain numbers, right? And so you can say, you know, I want to be a 20% here, 20% here. Whoops, typed that one in the wrong spot. Okay, let me just escape that one. You could do 20% here, 20% here. We'll say 15% here because maybe the other 20% is in cash. And then these are just kind of blank for now. So you got hex, hex, ink, pulse, pulse hex, right? And so now you're looking at 100% total portfolio balance. This would be kind of like where you would end up putting it. Again, you can just say you had, we'll say 630,000 hex. You had 260 million or 220 million pulse. 20, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Cool. And then you end up getting roughly about 260 over here. So we'll say 260 right here. E-hex was roughly about 1 million, I think you said. Whoops. One. Whoops. What the heck? That was one too many zeros. And in ink was roughly around 80. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. All right, cool. So again, I'm just kind of like putting average purchase prices. Again, you can update all this information when you have this access to the spreadsheet. If you want to join the Patreon, you're welcome to. But this kind of gives me a good idea to say, hey, if I was to look at this where it currently is, I'm pretty much over on my hex on pulse chain side right now. So this kind of tells you what you would want to be either focusing on next. So this says I'm underweight on my ink because I wanted to be around a 15% portfolio, and I'm only at a 0.36 portfolio ratio right now. So this says, hey, I would be needing to be trying to focus on the ink token is what you should be focusing on, some ink token side of things right now. If you wanted to sell some, this says you're pretty much a little bit overweight on the pulse chain side right now, right? So if I'm looking right here, this says you're basically a little bit overweight. You're probably the most overweight on the pulse chain side. So you could potentially sell some, either get some more ink or convert some cash, or when you actually do some purchases, just focus on the ink side of things. Maybe you don't want ink to be at that high of a number right here. Maybe you want this to only be around like 1% of the portfolio. Well, in that situation, then you would say, I want this one to be obviously much higher, right? I want this one to be 25. I want this one to be 25. And I want this one to be, I don't know, 24%. I'm just kind of pulling up some numbers real fast, but you kind of get the idea. And you can say, hey, I'm still a little bit overweight, still a little bit underweight here. This is where I need to focus on. This is where I need to pay attention to. I don't want to sell maybe any of my tokens. I just want to purchase the next time that I get some tokens. So now next time you come in here, you say, hey, cool, I got some more ink by farming, by buying, whatever you ended up doing. And you say, hey, I got some more ink right here. I didn't do anything else. I didn't change anything else. I just added some more ink. Well, still I'm a little bit underweight in here, but now my focus should be on the Ethereum hex side, right? And so this kind of gives you a good idea. It's portfolio rebalancing. Hopefully that gives you some estimate. Again, this is available for the Patreon members as well, this little portfolio rebalancing sheet. So, you know, you can kind of make this up for yourself and you can type in all the information. Kind of gives you a good idea as to what you're looking at getting. But yeah, hopefully that gives you at least some answer on there. I don't have the exact numbers, man. I don't know where you want to be focused on, where you want to be a little bit more heavy on. But hopefully that gives you at least some answer there. Quasi Kid in the house saying I'm late, but good to see you. Hope you're back, bud. Yeah, I may not be doing the daily streams anymore like I was doing during the bear, dude. That was a fun time, but man, it's tough being like prices are going down, guys. Hold strong. Bull market's even tougher, which is odd to say, because people freak out over simple little pullbacks, right? We got a pullback today on the Pulse Chain ecosystem, and they're like, oh my god, we're going down. All the other tokens are pumping and ours isn't doing shit. What is going on? But it's a lot easier to, when everyone starts winning, guys, when we start seeing the January to February timeframe 4x above where we currently are right now, you're going to be feeling a lot more bullish right away from there. And then you start looking at the next level from the February to April, May timeframe, and dude, it gets like a stupid number really fast, really quick. So hopefully that makes everyone a little bit more bullish, calms everyone's mind a little bit, reminds everybody to remain strong during the freaking pullbacks, because guys, this is part of the journey. It's part of a 26-month journey that we are on in the first place. But neither here nor there. If this message hits home, of course, drop a strong button or strong man in the comments down below. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, share with someone who needs the extra support and motivation, because guys, you've got this and the finish line is closer than you think. I hope y'all have a wonderful absolute day. Much love, and I will talk to y'all in the next stream. Peace out.